to manipulate, to coerce, to buy off, and to control. Well, they can't ever control Trump. They can't control me, and they sure can't control Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. Thousands of miles away in the swamp of Washington, they kind of hoped that this was all over, that our populist little revolt would run away and no longer be a part of our national identity and the great work that we're doing. Oh, we are just starting. Maybe they thought that you lost your job, went broke. Maybe they thought that social distancing affected our well-being, our mental health. Maybe they thought that a stolen election would drain your hope. Maybe they thought lockdowns and government checks would march this country to socialism. Well, I can think of no better place than Arizona to pledge that America will never be a socialist country. Not on our watch. Since an inspirational President, Ronald Reagan, told us that it was morning in America again. Too often now, it seems like the twilight for Joe Biden. I mean, if it was morning in America again under Reagan, it sort of seems like nap time in America with Joe Biden as the president. And I think it's about time to wake up our fellow countrymen, to ignite a new generation of patriots to stand and battle for our nation. No, our nation does not have to follow Joe Biden in a certain and cataclysmic decline. I sure am glad to see everybody here in person. Isn't that nice? One person that I would like to not see anymore is Dr. Fauci. Dr. Fauci is like every bad weatherman, frequently wrong and never in doubt. We will not allow the public health bureaucracy to be a new entity to drain our liberty away in the United States of America. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to trade mask mandates for vaccine mandates. And so in the coming days, I will introduce legislation in the Congress to ban vaccine passports everywhere. These big businesses, they want to take money from American taxpayers to stay afloat, and then they want to turn around and judge the Americans that they took that money from for their personal truth. They're just in a state of denial. Well, you know what? We are working to make elections better, not just to right the wrongs of the past, but to ensure that we have a better future, that we have elections we can count on, that we have rewards we can trust, that we have voter identification so that we know that if a ballot is passed, that's what we do. Unattainable goal. We can do it. I mean, back in the 2000 election, we had the hanging chads and the dangling punch cards. I think that in like 2004, they cut open an alligator and found votes for Al Gore. I'm convinced that happened in the Florida swamps. But you know what we did? Governor Ron DeSantis fired the elections officials. Indiscriminately just mail out ballots to people that did not request them. And as a result, we have cleaned up our act in Florida, and it is my belief that Arizona will be the launch pad for elections audits and elections integrity efforts all over this great country. Georgia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Nevada. One group that I don't mind having a little oversight over is the Biden Justice Department. Or are they the Biden Injustice Department? The Biden Justice Department has sent a threat to your senators that if they continue to pursue investigation and evidence and subpoenas and documents and servers and passwords, that you could be violating people's civil rights. And then I thought, well, who in the hell is doing this in the Biden Justice Department? And it is actually a woman named Dr. Pamela Karlan, who was one of the partisan impeachment witnesses. Do you remember that mean lady who made fun of Donald Trump's son's name? She said, oh, well, he can name his son Barron, but he can't be a Barron. You know what she said about all of us? She said that conservatives are apparently just so distasteful that we can't even stand to live around each other. That's why we disperse around the country. We don't live the great metropolitan, cosmopolitan lives that the enlightened people live. Dr. Pamela Karlan should not even have a job at the Justice Department. She should not be threatening the people of Arizona who deserve answers about the 2020 election. If we ensure that the people who are taking the oath of office are actually who the people elected, then our elections will have more integrity, and I hope that the resulting policy will be that our borders will have more integrity. You in Arizona, you are on the front lines of this battle. You pay the heaviest price. Some of your fellow citizens have paid the ultimate price. President Trump is right. They aren't sending their best, but they're taking some of our best, and that is what has to stop. And you have to wonder, why is this happening? This is not an unsolvable problem. You think that people can't control who gets in or who gets out? Go to a casino sometime. We can do this, right? It's It's about having the will to do it, and the courage, and the determination to get the job done. On the political left, it's all about power. They think that if they can have a flood of illegal immigration into our country, that will help them keep and expand their political power. And the reason that's the case is that in so many of America's inner cities, like LA, Chicago, Detroit, and New York, the people there have trusted Democrats for the longest period of time, and they've let them down. And so now, instead of actually stepping up to serve the people that you screwed over, they're having to have a political refill. They're having to import new people that they hope that they are able to dupe again. Oh, and then they get them here, and then there's no real ID to make sure that illegal aliens are not voting in our elections. And that's improper. But it's not just the political left. There is a corrupt coalition on the right where too many Republicans are willing to be the shill of big business. So, we have to stand up to members in both parties who do not believe in the integrity and security of our border. Both parties. You know, right now, you know what we're going through? Right now, America is suffering through a taxpayer-subsidized invasion of our country. And you know what? They don't like me saying that. They don't think it's politically incorrect, but sometimes the truth is politically incorrect. I don't blame the desperate people that come across our border for free healthcare, free education, free childcare, free transportation, free cell phones. I blame the America Last politicians who are drawing people across our borders illegally with free stuff that you pay for. Former President George W. Bush has now re-emerged to lead a pro-amnesty movement. George W. Bush, I did not have George W. Bush on my bingo card for new heroes of the Woketopia, but here we are. As President Trump reminds us, we do not build walls because we hate the people on the outside. We build walls because we love the people on the inside. See, I believe that America is such a special place. This is such a unique moment in all of human history that we get to live in the United States of America. And those people who believe that we could just fundamentally change that with unchecked illegal immigration have too low of a view of our country. And if you cannot just like recreate America by this massive influx of illegal immigration, I also believe you cannot export America to some distant land at the edge of a sword. You know, I don't believe that America's best effort is trying to go and build a democracy out of sand and blood and Arab militias in the Middle East. When people sign up to wear the uniform, I think they do that to protect our country, not to protect Niger or Mali or the Central African Republic. And pardon me if I would prefer to rebuild America before we rebuild Kandahar. But the biggest threat right now to our military is actually not an endless string of deployments to faraway lands for unknowable gain. Right now, our military is being targeted by the Biden Department of Defense. Lieutenant Colonel Matthew Lohmeyer is an American patriot who should have been promoted, not relieved of his command. And the thing about Lohmeyer, he was punished for telling the truth. Marxism and the danger that it does, a message that many of our young people need to hear today. And he was right, that critical race theory has no place in our military, no place in our schools, no place in the greatest country that has ever existed in all of human history. Any program that teaches us to hate our fellow Americans because of their identity should be defunded, abolished, and never allowed again. And then you look at why this is happening to our military. There's a guy named Bishop Garrison who tweeted out that we have to reject civility as a norm. Now, I have passionate beliefs. You see, I fight for them with great vigor, but I always believe we should be kind to our fellow Americans and civil. I don't want anything bad to happen to any of my fellow Americans. I want us to all be successful. We are on the same team. There's like 1 billion Chinese, and if we are going to beat them, we need everybody doing something, contributing, helping out. Bishop Garrison said we have to reject civility. He also said there's no room for any nuance in evaluating Trump supporters. Everyone is an insufferable, irredeemable racist and threat to national security. I regret to inform you that Bishop Garrison is currently a senior advisor to the United States Secretary of Defense, designing the policies on what might constitute extremism. They want to label anyone who's MAGA or America First some sort of threat to our nation. The threat to our nation is the Marxism and critical race theory that they embrace, not the love of country that we embrace. And so if you believe that America is a wonderful place, not a racist country, if you believe that MAGA is patriotic, not deplorable, if you stand for the flag and kneel in prayer, if you want to build America up, not burn her to the ground, then welcome, my fellow patriots. This is the movement for you. You are in the right place. We need you as part of our movement and our battle. We need you as part of our digital army to like and share our content, to make our ideas uncancelable. We need you as part of our financial army, making donations, because you know what? The big PACs and the lobbyists, they don't donate to Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor Greene. And so we rely on you. You know, Marjorie and I might not be deemed traditionally powerful under the guise of Washington. You know, we don't have the fancy offices and the big staffs and the big titles, but you know what? We have a power that they can never take away because we fight for you. We battle against your dislikes. We advance your interests. We call out the corruption and the unfairness and the extent to which there is a uniparty in Washington, D.C. that works for Washington, not the rest of you. But if we do this right, if we marshal together the patriots, it's absolutely my expectation that the best days for our country are yet to come. But for America to be better, the Republican Party has to be better. We have to be worthy again of the working men and women of our great nation. The media like to act as though there is this big civil war brewing in the Republican Party. Is it going to be the establishment, or is it going to be the Trump populists? Well, you know what? The Civil War is over. We've won. This is Donald Trump's Republican Party, and I am a Donald Trump Republican. and the smears, that those in permanent Washington, those that they cannot compromise, they deplatform and defame and destroy and ultimately kill. But you cannot kill an idea, and you cannot kill a movement as strong as America First. I'm all for unity. I want us to come together and whoop the Democrats in 2022. But I want to unify not on the side of the losing establishment, I want to unify on the side of the winners. And this is a movement for winning. Winning so much that you get tired of it. After all, isn't that what you were promised? This great land, America, it's not just an idea or a constitution. America is our home. And so let's go protect our home. Let's protect our border.